Hello. Hi. Welcome to my first YouTube video. My name is Paulina, or Papayalina as I go by online on my social media. I'm an artist. I like to paint and draw really just anything at this point, like humans, characters, creatures, animals. Yeah, so this is my first video. I've been wanting to start a YouTube channel for quite a while now, and so I've finally gotten around to it. I really just wanted to, for one, show off my process and, show you guys how I actually make stuff and describe it a little, but also I've wanted to share my thoughts about art as well as life, and so that's what I'm going to do in this video. So what you'll see right now is me painting this piece with this bird lady. First of all, I'm doing this in Clip Studio Paint. That's the software that I usually use. And this little lady, this little sad lady, is a Sirin. So she's a mythological folklore creature from Russia. Or like from the Slavic people, I guess. And she's supposed to be, half woman, half bird. She's supposed to be very sad. And if you look her up, I swear, if you look her up, she is confusing. Like, what is she? Because when I googled her, and yes, I used Wikipedia, I got two descriptions of who she is. On one hand, she's supposed to be a good symbol of heavenly bliss. And on the other hand, apparently she sang sad songs, and that would lead people away to their doom. So I don't know how you can have heavenly bliss and destruction in one thing, but I mean, I don't know, that's what I found about her. Where I got this idea from to actually paint this is, you'll actually see this other piece popping in and out. It was one that I was referencing because that one right there, I was really inspired by it, and that piece is by an old Russian artist who I love. He's amazing. His name is Viktor Vasnetsov. Yes, I said it in a Russian accent because I'm Russian. And I adore his work. I went through a phase of just adoring old Russian artists' works. And so he had this piece where he painted the Sirin and her joyful counterpart, which is called an alkanos, which is the other bird lady in the piece. But I was just I was mesmerized by the way that he drew the Sirin. And so I really wanted to draw my own, and this is how this piece came to be. I sort of referenced his color palette as well as the way that he designed her. And I just really wanted to make her my own, so this is what this piece is about. I would say this piece is a little different from what I usually do. I usually just paint characters rather than a scene, whereas this one has, like a background to it and nature. I really wanted to tell a story with this one, especially because she's an interesting thing. She cries. And I actually really enjoyed painting her expression because I really wanted to keep it subtle. I'm obsessed with subtlety. I love being able to portray things in a subtle way. And so that was a challenge for me, to capture her expression so that she looked sad enough without looking ugly. Because you know how we've all got that ugly cry. Yeah, I didn't want that. I just wanted something cute and subtle. So yep, you can just see me kind of work away, painting in some details. I'm pretty sporadic with my painting process. I'm not fully structured. Like, I don't refine the face and then I move down to the wing. I kind of just work on whatever my eye lands on. So if I feel like working on the branch for 2 minutes, I'll work on the branch, and then I'll go back to the feathers and I'm just pretty all over the place. I kind of just feel it out. Speaking of which, feeling it out, this was my challenge with this piece. That was my focus. I really wanted to paint according to how I felt I wanted to paint. Let me explain that. So I'm quite a perfectionist, especially when it comes to art. I'm quite perfectionist, and I get really caught up in thinking I have to draw things realistically, for lack of a better word. Like, I would think when I paint, you know, is this what a tree branch would really look like? You know, what do feathers really look like? And a part of me really wants to make it as similar to real life as possible, and to avoid exaggeration, because I don't know why, I've just got that in my brain. And so what that does is that actually really gets in my way from just making drawings that are expressive and, you know, unique. I don't know. I just get stuck in this place of just beating myself up because the tree branch doesn't look realistic enough, or that's not what a bunch of leaves look like. So I thought, screw it. This piece is gonna just be me making branches like how I want to make branches. If that's not how branches work, I don't care, because this is just how I'm gonna make them. Because perfectionism is no fun, and I would argue it does only harm. It does only harm. Because the other thing that it does for me is, let's say I start a piece and I don't know how to draw something in it, it will literally take me months to finish it, just because, let's say I don't know how to paint the grass, I will literally hold off from painting the grass because I'm afraid to mess it up, or like I'll try to paint it and it won't look like how I want it to look, it won't look grassy enough or whatever, it won't look perfect, and so I put it off because I think, you know, I need to get better, I need to learn how to paint grass first. Whereas, you know what, you can just kind of paint impressionistically, you can just paint, there's no rule that says you can't just paint some brush strokes and give the impression of grass, and that's a totally valid way to paint. And that actually, that's kind of how I want to paint. I want my paintings to be sort of impressionistic like that. But yeah, what I think is really valuable and something I really want to practice more and really get good at is painting by feelings, you know, painting, just switching off that logic for a second. There is an element of logic when you paint, there's an element of logic with everything, you know, there's the objective stuff, but there's also subjective aspects to things. And so I really want to tap into that subjective thing. Like, if I want to slap some red on there, who says I can't? Like, literally, who says I can't? Who says I can't paint branches a certain way, or feathers, or hair a certain way? Does hair look like that? Realistically, probably not, but you know what? I'm gonna make it like that. Because I want to. And you know, I see artists. How I get to this place is that I see artists who make something and they think of an idea outside the box and then they paint it, and I see it and I think, what? You can paint like that? You can express something like that and it's cool and it doesn't make sense logically, like, you know, maybe we don't have purples, we don't have green skies, but you made a green sky and it looks cool. You know, there's no rules. There are, but there aren't, you know? You don't have to just stick to rules. I guess it depends what kind of artist you are, but for me, I know that I want to be a lot more expressive and a lot more... I just want to paint with the heart, paint with the soul, you know? I feel like I haven't had a lot of that in my life. And I also find that I make my best work when I'm chill, for lack of a better word. When I just come to paint my goal is not to paint something perfect, but my goal is just to express an idea that I have, and just to make it whatever and paint it however. Make it rough, make it sketchy, make it loose, make it freaky with the colors. That's my best work. That's the work I'm happiest with. That's the work I'm most proud of, even if it's not the most refined or the most, you know, technically accurate. Because who even said that perfectionism is the goal? Why do we think that things have to be perfect? I mean, I'm speaking to myself as someone who wants things to be perfect, but like, why do we even want that? I don't know. Anyway, back to the piece. This is me just rendering the face. I actually really love overpainting. I love to, or render, for lack of a better word. Just to go over the rough stuff and to refine it and make it look all nice and clean. I love to do that. It's very fun for me, but I guess the challenge with it is to preserve what you captured in the rough. Oftentimes I find the rough actually, I don't know, captured the emotion better, or captures something about the piece a lot better. And that can be lost when you start rendering, and so that's something I always pay attention to. That's the reason I always flip the canvas a lot, as you'll see me do. And I also turn layers off and on a lot, just to make sure that I haven't lost that special something from the rough. But yeah, if you guys are still here, thank you so much for clicking on this video and watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Please leave a comment about what you think. I would love to know your thoughts on this piece, or perfectionism, whether you can relate to it or not. You know, what your struggles are with art. I would love to read your comments and to answer them. And while you're at it, please like this video if you enjoyed it. Consider subscribing, and you can also follow me on my Instagram and TikTok or Twitter. Those are my main active accounts. And yeah, here I am still painting away. Now I'm finally starting to work on the background. I actually really don't like doing backgrounds. I feel like it's a good skill, but I really just prefer to paint characters at this stage. But I felt like this one needed it for the story, and clouds are pretty chill to paint, I guess, so I thought, whatever, I'll do it. So yeah, I've kind of run out of things to say. Oh, this bit, I was testing some different brushes, and then I also tested the look of rain that you'll see in just a second. I wanted to see if rain could look cool coming from those clouds, and it actually does look cool, but I didn't end up keeping it, so whatever. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this piece. I actually really like how it turned out. You'll see it in just a moment. I really like how it turned out. I'm happy with how I captured the emotion. You can see in this final one that I put some birds in the background because I felt like it was a bit empty without them, and I think that really completed the picture. But yeah, it's not perfect. It's not, you know, super duper clean, but I quite like it. So thank you guys again for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.